Testing 1234. How do I sound compared to the game audio? Welcome your
Let's try a new voice for tonight. Welcome y'all to tonight's final stream of Persona 1, we finish the game tonight. I did some off-stream grinding to get everyone up to their ultimate persona levels. Let's go fam.
Here goes. Take.
Honestly, the ultimate personas may not even be better than the ones I have, but completion is completion. How's the weather where y'all are? It's hot as hell for me. Barely inside and I'm already getting stuck. Good start. We made it, gang, one floor down in just 15 minutes, we may be in for a long night if that's my pace.
Here go. Take. Here go. Take. Ow! Take.
We made it, gang, one floor down. Here go. Take. Here go. Take. Here go. Take. Take. Let me turn the lamp on, I always forget to do it before I start. I am in fact wearing pajamas cause I knew I should put on pants, but I'll be damned if it's going to be real pants. This area to the right of the stairs is where we swap our ambrosia for ultimate persona totems. We made it. Since we're back near the start again, let's see if we can detour back to the other area to heal or fuse personas. We need more skill cards to make Brown's ultimate persona. This is the optional side dungeon I did the grinding in. Let's just grab a few random enemies from here.
Live this ballad memory.
I have a guide up for which creatures can make justice personas we can use. We just need the right kinds of demons to show up. Right now I'm looking for a jockey or flying type demon. We got boys, gals and non-binary pals, let's get this ultimate persona. Time to go back to being lost in the dungeon now, at least it's a chance to rank up all those new personas. The nice thing about this dungeon is that it isn't timed like the rest, so I can take my time and get lost, and it's not a real concern.
Live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. Ow! Take live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. I'm just love. Live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. I'm just love player. People and other crap. The hatred thoughts just don't stop. I see free way from. Live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. Ow! Live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. I'm just love player. People and other crap. The hatred thoughts just don't stop. I see free way from them. All I said to all my bodies, babe. Live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. Live is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. I'm just love player. People and other
I don't wanna advance too far in before getting the personas maxed out, so let's do that now. In the meantime, you'll have this text-to-speech reader read off an article from the Persona Wiki. Jack Frost, Jakukurazudo, sometimes known as Jack, is a demon in the series. He is featured in many games in the Megami Tensei franchise, and perhaps has the most appearances of any demon in the franchise. He can be considered the mascot of Atlas and the Megami Tensei franchise as a whole, making numerous cameos as a result. Contents show. History edit. A spirit originating from England. He is a snow elf who brings in cold weather during the winter and is thought to be responsible for the frost that forms on the windows of homes and buildings. Appearances edit. Megami Tensei 2, Yuma Race. Kyoyaku Megami Tensei, Yuma Race. Shin Megami Tensei, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei 2, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei, If. Hazuma's Chapter, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei, 20XX, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei, 20XX Devil's Coliseum, Genma Race. Shin Megami Tensei 9, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei Imagine, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei, Strange Journey, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei, Synchronicity Prologue, Playable Character. Shin Megami Tensei, Liberation DX2, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei 4, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, Fairy Race. Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, Fairy Race. Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, Fairy Race. Devil Summoner, Raidokuzyo no ABS. The Soulless Army, Frost Order. Devil Summoner 2, Raidokuzyo no ABS. King of Aden, Frost Order. Devil Summoner, Raidokuzyo no ABS. The Lone Merbito. Gaiden Megami Tensei, Tokyo Moku Shiroku, Fairy Race. Megami Ibun Roku Persona, Lovers Arcana / Fairy Order. Persona 2, Innocent Sin, Lovers Arcana. Persona 2, Eternal Punishment, Lovers Arcana. Persona, Tsumi to Batsug. Persona 3 /FES / Portable, Magician Arcana. Persona 3 the Movie, Magician Arcana. Megami Tensei Chaining Soul, Persona 3. Persona 3, Dancing in Moonlight, Cameo. Persona 4 / Golden, Magician Arcana. Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth, Magician Arcana. Persona 5/Royal, Magician Arcana. Persona 5, Dancing in Starlight, Cameo. Persona 5 Scramble, The Phantom Strikers. Persona O. A. Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth, Magician Arcana. Jack Brothers. Playable character. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Fae, Cameo. Devil Children Black Book and Red Book, Yuma Race. Shin Megami Tensei, Debi Chiel. Devil Children White Book, Yuma Race. Demi Kids Light Version / Dark Version, Fiend Type. Devil Children Puzzle to Call. Devil Children Fire / Ice Book, Yuma Race. Devil Children Messiah Riser, Yuma Race. Shin Megami Tensei Trading Card, Card Summoner, Fairy Race. Digital Devil Saga, Avatar Tuner, Fiend Class. Digital Devil Saga, Avatar Tuner 2, Nether Class / Optional Boss. Devil Survivor / Overclocked, Fairy Race. Devil Survivor 2 / Record Breaker, Fairy Race. SBK, Snowboard Kids, Playable Character. Profile Edit. Megami Tensei II Edit. Jack makes his debut as a demon on the overworld map outside Bale's castle. Kiwayaku Megami Tensei Edit. If Nakajima picked up a member's card from Rag's Jewelry, and the file is continued onto MTII after defeating Lucifer, a member's card will be given to the protagonist by a kid in the shelter. The member's card can then be traded at Rag's for a Heiran. If the protagonist goes into a room with treasure chest, then exits and presses down 31 times and re-enters, they will encounter Jack Frost Jr. Jack Frost Jr. will ask the protagonist if he knows his parents, by responding yes, 3000, 3000 mag and 10,000 EXP will be received. Later, after passing through Mammon's Gate and reaching the Island of Dreams, Jack-o'-lantern can be encountered. After talking to him, the protagonist can go to a treasure chest room and meet Jack Frost Jr. again. After reaching Bale's castle, the Fallen Angel Wing Cloak can be acquired as the Code Breaker Grand Prize. With this and the Heiran in possession, Jack Frost Sr. will be encountered upon entering the Cathedral of Shadows. He will give the hero a Qing Long, Bai Long, and Kali. After MTII is finished, Jack Frost Mama can be encountered by going to see the nurse in the shelter. She will introduce the protagonist to the secret deities, Zeus, Leto, Artemis, and Apollo, and give hints as to where they can be found. Shin Megami Tensei Edit. Jack Frost SMT1 Sprite. Origin, England. A winter fairy in the shape of a snowman. It appears with the coming of winter. Though it is usually as innocent as it seems, it also freezes those it dislikes to death. Shin Megami Tensei A Mode DDS Dictionary. Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne Edit. An elf-like creature who is the embodiment of all that is cool. It is said that he is the one who leaves those beautiful icy patterns on windows in the morning. Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne Profile. Jack Frost is a member of the fairy race and can first be encountered as an enemy in Ginza. Fusing a level Jack Frost together with Angel once the Demi-Fiend reaches LV.18 can summon Uzume and impart the Dark Might skill to her, which is useful for the Matador battle in the next area. A Jack Frost known as He-Ho was the owner of a junk shop in Shibuya. After He-Ho made enough money to travel, he sold the shop to a fabulous male mannequin, prone to flirting with the Demi-Fiend. He-Ho's dream was to become a big and powerful demon like the king, so he headed to the Mantra Army headquarters in Ikebukuro. When He-Ho arrives at the Mantra HQ, he is afraid of the demons, so he stays outside, but it's too hot there. There are pillars of fire near the entrance, so he decides to head elsewhere. He-Ho ends up at Kabukicho prison, presumably looking for Magatsuai. After Mizuchi was defeated by the Demi-Fiend, He-Ho transformed into Black Frost and began calling himself Emperor of Kabukicho, ruling over a small host of Jack Frosts. After being defeated by the Demi-Fiend, Black Frost melted and left behind the Satan Megatama. In the third Kalpa, Black Frost appeared in a room with 2 switches after Dante was defeated. After talking to Black Frost, he joined the Demi-Fiend's party without his consent, believing that he could grow stronger still by joining the one who defeated him. Shin Megami Tensei Imagine Edit. Jack Frost is a sprite of English folklore that only appears in wintertime. He can appear in many different forms, such as a snowman, a child, or an old man. Jack Frost has a mischievous yet innocent personality. He tends to say hee-ho frequently and generally acts like a friendly child. He also has a menacing side, though get him angry, and he'll freeze you solid. Shin Megami Tensei Imagine Compendium. Jack Frost appears regularly within Sujanami Field and the Sujanami Tunnels instances. He also appears in NPC form supporting the newbie Demon Buster NPC whenever she appears. This NPC gives quests regarding the Denshi Karo instance, including the Ares quest and the Black Frost quest. In the Abyss Tower instance accessed through the alternate Shinjuku Babel, Jack Frost can be encountered as a solo-only boss. This version is massively weak to almost all elements, but is one of the highest HP bosses in the game with over 10 million HP. The Abyss Tower boss Frost also possesses a variety of joke attacks with names like Zero's Hee-Ho. Speaking with the Jack Frost before the battle, players have the opportunity to challenge him to rock paper scissors and avoid the battle entirely. Whether players defeat him in rock paper scissors or through the battle, they have a chance of looting the Hee-Ho ring. Jack Frost frequently acts as an event quest NPC around winter-themed events. Christmas and New Year variations called Santa Frost and Shishime Frost are commonly awarded around this period. Outside of events, he is one of the 4 primary bazaar-tending demons. Many pieces of player gear are themed around Jack Frost, such as suits or his iconic hat. By equipping a piece of gear infused with his soul stone, players are also able to use Frost Punch. Shin Megami Tensei, Strange Journey Edit. A mist spirit that appears during the winter and melts away in spring. His body is made of ice and snow, but do not be fooled by his cute appearance. Jack Frost spits ice and freezes people, a smile on his face all the while. Originally, he looked like an abominable snowman, but perhaps he changed form to more efficiently freeze people. Shin Megami Tensei, Strange Journey Compendium. Jack Frosts reappear as common, recruitable demons in the first floor of Sector Boades. A lonely Jack Frost appears in Sector Karina's basement, moping over the loss of his family. In an effort to achieve revenge, he requests the protagonist to get him an ice vest to increase his power. Upon getting the item and using it, the Jack Frost grows and becomes a Frost Ace, unlocking the Frost Ace special fusion combination and granting a powerful gun to the protagonist. Shin Megami Tensei IV Edit. Jack Frost can be found in Shinjuku. He can teach Flynn the Bufula and Hama skills through his Demon Whisper. Jack Frost can also evolve into Wendigo upon reaching LV.20. Jack Frost is needed in order to summon Frost Ace, Black Frost, and King Frost through special fusion. Jack Frost is also featured in the Training Battle 2 Challenge quest. Jack Frost, Pyro Jack, and Jack the Ripper have gathered to cover each other's weaknesses and all must be defeated in a single turn. Flynn must use Lunge on Jack the Ripper, skip turn to Naga so that they may use Bufula on Pyro Jack, and finish by skipping turns to Kasso so that they may use Miragi on Jack Frost. Next, Jack Frost appears in the Training Battle 4 Challenge quest with Phoenix, Reiju, and Tubu. Attacking Phoenix normally 3 times and then using Mazanma with Eros will end the battle. Jack Frost makes yet another appearance in Training Battle 6, where Flynn and his party must use damage reflected by his demon's innate resistances to defeat the enemies while switching summoned demons according to what is needed. The enemy demons are the Jack Brothers plus, a party of Pyro Jack, Jack Frost, Jack the Ripper and Harry Jack. During the first enemy turn, Jack the Ripper will use a physical attack targeting Flynn's party. On the second enemy turn, Jack Frost will attempt a Mabufola. For the third turn, Pyro Jack will use Marajun. On the next turn, Canberry will need to use Tetrakarn to ward off Harry's Jack's attack. Attacking Harry Jack at any point may result in him using Retaliate, which will defeat one of Flynn's demons prematurely. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse Edit. Jack Frost can be found in Shinjuku at the south entrance and west entrance. He can teach the Bufola, Mabufu, and Hama skills during his Demon Whisper. Jack Frost receives a decent bonus to any ice skills learned. At level 26, Jack Frost will transform into Wendigo, provided that Nanashi is able to control it. Jack Frost is also an ingredient for the special fusions of Frost Ace and King Frost. Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers Edit. A frost spirit that appears during the winter and melts away in spring. He is made of ice and snow, but do not be fooled by his cute demeanor. Jack Frost freezes people with his cold breath, smiling all the while. He originally looked like an abominable snowman, but he may have changed form, the better to freeze people. Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers 3DS Compendium. If Jack Frost's loyalty is maxed out, he can be converted through Mystic Change into Candy Boots, a rare gift item that can make it easier to communicate with certain kinds of demons. Devil Summoner, Radicusio no ABS. The Soulless Army Edit. Jack Frost is a recruitable demon and ally. During a second cycle, Jack Frost steals a uniform and fuses himself with it, becoming Reiho. Megami Ibun Roku Persona Edit. Oh. Jack Frosts. Careful. Their outwardly adorable appearance is a ruse to lure people in. Then, they use their icy breath to freeze their unsuspecting prey. Eriko carries Hima. Jack Frost is the second persona available from the Lover's Arcana and appears as a large Jack Frost with exaggerated cap tails. As a persona, its stats grow evenly with each rank and it focuses mostly on magic defense. When returned to the Velvet Room at max rank, it yields a luck incense. The demon version of Jack Frost first starts to appear after the party exits Mikage Hospital into Mikage Cho. A pair of Jack Frost NPCs appear in the Snow Queen quest, Hiho-kun and Hiho-chan, credited in the English release as Reiho and Ryo. Before the three towers are conquered, they can be found in the room that leads to Devil's Peak. Afterwards, they can be found in the Ice Castle, where they use their powers to teleport the party to a higher floor so they can fight the Night Queen. They can also trade ambrosia for the totems needed to fuse the ultimate personas. Persona 3 Edit. Akiwin. Akihiko with Jack's gloves. A winter fairy of European descent. Normally an innocent creature, but if provoked, he will kill his victim by covering him in snow. Persona 3 FES Compendium. Jack Frost is a LV8 magician persona, and can be obtained via fusion or through shuffle time when exploring Tartarus' second block, Arca. One of Elizabeth's requests requires the protagonist to fuse a Jack Frost with the skill Dia. Successfully completing this quest rewards the protagonist with high-cut armor. He also appears as Elizabeth's ice persona during her boss fight. Additionally, the protagonist can obtain Jack Frost dolls from the claw machine in Polonia Mall. Akihiko Sanada can also obtain Jack Frost gloves called Jack's Gloves, which also features Pyro Jack. The movie edit. Jack Frost is the first persona summoned by Makoto due to awakening the power of the wild card, and was used to absorb the Arcana Priestess's ice attacks. He obtained him after defeating the Arcana Magician. Persona 4 Arena Edit. While not making a major appearance in Persona 4 Arena, one of Teddy's alternative palette swaps resembles Jack Frost. Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth Edit. A winter fairy of European descent. Normally an innocent creature, but if provoked, he will kill his victim by covering him in snow. Persona Q Compendium. Persona 5 Edit. A winter fairy of European descent. He leaves ice patterns on windows and nips people's noses. Though normally an innocent creature, he will freeze his victims to death if provoked. Persona 5 Background. Jack Frost is the second persona of the Magician Arcana and can be found as a shadow in Madaram's Palace and the Kemda area of Mementos, with the title Mocking Snowman. He is the first persona to learn the Ice Break and Freeze Boost skills. When itemized through electric chair execution, Jack Frost yields a Frost Hood for Morgana, which provides 130 def, 20 EVA, and 20 bonus SP. Jack Frost is needed to summon Black Frost through Advanced Fusion. Jack Frost is the first subject of requests from Caroline and Justine during the progression of the Strength Confidant. Caroline and Justine will request that the protagonist bring them a Jack Frost that knows the Mabufa skill. This can be done by leveling a Jack Frost recruited from Madaram's Palace or Mementos until it reaches level 12 or by fusing him in the Velvet Room so the Arcana Burst grants him enough EXP to reach level 12. The shadow of Daisuke Takanashi takes the form of Jack Frost when confronted in the second area of a Yats bus in Mementos during the Bark and Bite of a Bole request. Shadow Takanashi will attempt to instill fear in the party with Evil Touch and land critical hits using Lucky Punch. When low on HP, he will also begin using Stomach Blow and Evil Smile. Jack Frost also appears as a plush toy that can be won from a crane game at the Gigolo arcade in Akihabara. The plush will be located on the workbench in the protagonist's room after being won. Persona 5 The Animation Edit. Anne is seen buying a Jack Frost plush toy as she and the original 4 members of the Phantom Thieves decide to continue their work. Jack Brothers. Edit. Jack Frost is one of the 3 initial playable characters in this spin-off title named after him and his brothers, where he must hurry to return to his own world before midnight on Halloween hits. His attacks are weaker compared to the other characters, but his rate of fire is the highest in the game. Shin Megami Tensei, Debi Cheel Edit. Ho. A boisterous Jack Frost under the influence of villains. In the anime, Jack Frost is extremely clumsy and vocally communicates using only his characteristic phrase, "He-ho." Initially, he appears under the control of the villains and attacks the party. Having no choice, Setsuna Kai and his friend Cool try to fend Jack Frost off for as long as they can while Mirai Kaname makes efforts to wake him up. After a literally heated battle, Mirai succeeds. He then agrees to accompany the party. Demi-Kid's Light and Dark Edit. Cheerful little snow demon with a unique sense of humor that can send chills down the spine. Demonary, Demi-Kids. Known as J. Frost, they are the main inhabitants of Dem Ice and reside in a town called Frostville. The Jacks, Many Icy and Strawberry Frost are the main civil lians, Icy Aces serving as military and King Icy ruling over them all. Akira passes through the town on his way to the Valhalla, and has the option of helping Zack Frost complete a quest to become an Icy Ace. Other Jack Frosts can be seen all over Valhalla and Dem alike. He can perform the combo Blizzard with Ice Maid, Icy Ace, and King Icy. Devil Children Messiah Riser Edit. Jack Frost is being attacked by Imperium demons in the ice cave found on Ice Makai. Akira must either send allies or press the button to move the platform to help Jack before the Mogul Mbembe kills him. Upon completing the stage, Jack Frost joins the party. Digital Devil Saga, Avatar Tuner Edit. Jack Frost appears in Digital Devil Saga, Avatar Tuner as one of the hip-hop brothers, the other being Pyro Jack. The brothers are members of the Solids and they ambush Embryon within coordinate 136, on the second floor. If the party chooses to do so, they can revisit coordinate 136 to find Pyro Jack without his partner. Digital Devil Saga, Avatar Tuner 2 Edit. Are you down, hee-ho? Jack Frost, Digital Devil Saga, Avatar Tuner 2. Jack Frost is in random encounters but no longer appears as a common enemy. Instead, he will quiz the party with 20 questions per battle, stopping only when the party answers wrong or correctly answers all questions for the round. Should the party correctly answer all 100 questions, they win a certificate for answering the 100th question correctly and a set of stat increasing data. If all answers have been answered correctly, every time the party encounters Jack Frost, he will give them random items before running away. The party will also have the opportunity to fight Jack Frost if all questions are answered correctly in the final dungeon, the third layer of the sun. Jack Frost will prefer to use breath to freeze a party member and attack them repeatedly, but should that avenue of attack be cut off with ice shields, he will attack using other skills. Using debuff spells on Jack Frost will make him waste turns casting Dekanda rather than attacking. Defeating him nets the pass ring and Megatama ammo. He will also continue to appear and grant the party items after the battle. Both the Jack Frost that appears in random encounters and the Pyro Jack that hangs around Mad Mart aren't the Hip Hop Brothers from the first game, as both the data of the Hip Hop Brothers and the data of Pyro Jack/Frost appear in separate areas of the sun. Additionally, Jack Frost dolls appear scattered throughout the Karma Society Tower. Devil Survivor 2 Edit. A frost spirit that appears during the winter and melts away in spring. He is made of ice and snow, but do not be fooled by his cute demeanor. Jack Frost freezes people with his cold breath, smiling all the while. He originally looked like an abominable snowman, but he may have changed form, the better to freeze people. Devil Survivor 2 Compendium. Shin Megami Tensei, Liberation DX2 Edit. Frost spirits that appear during the winter and melt away in spring. They are made of ice and snow, but do not be fooled by their cute demeanor. Jack Frosts freeze people with their cold breath, smiling all the while. They originally were ugly creatures but changed in order to let their victims guard down. Shin Megami Tensei, Liberation DX2 Compendium. I'm still not done grinding, let me pull up another article for you. The Odyssey, /c/1 Greek, delta sigma sigma epsilon iota alpha, Odysseia, Attic Greek, o. Dis. Sech. Ja, is one of two major ancient Greek epic poems attributed to Homer. It is, in part, a sequel to the Iliad, the other Homeric epic. The Odyssey is a fundamental work in the modern Western canon, being the oldest extant piece of Western literature, second to the Iliad. Citation needed. Scholars believe the Odyssey was composed near the end of the 8th century BC, somewhere in Ionia, the Greek coastal region of Anatolia. 2. The poem mainly focuses on the Greek hero Odysseus, known as Ulysses in Roman myth, king of Ithaca, and his journey home after the fall of Troy. It takes Odysseus 10 years to reach Ithaca after the 10-year Trojan War. In his absence, Odysseus is assumed to have died, due to which his wife Penelope and son Telemachus must deal with a group of unruly suitors, the Mnesteres, Greek, Munueta sigma tauro epsilon, or Prosi, who compete for Penelope's hand in marriage. The work continues to be read in the Homeric Greek and translated into modern languages around the world. Many scholars believe the original poem was composed in an oral tradition by an Aoidos, epic poet/singer, perhaps a rhapsode, professional performer, and was more likely intended to be heard than read. 2. The details of the ancient oral performance and the story's conversion to a written work inspire continual debate among scholars. 3. The Odyssey was written in a poetic dialect of Greek, a literary amalgam of Aeolic, Ionic, and other ancient Greek dialects comprising 12,110 lines of dactylic hexameter. 4. 5. Among the most noteworthy elements of the text are its nonlinear plot, and the influence on events of choices made by women and slaves, besides the actions of fighting men. In the English language, as well as many others, the word Odyssey has come to refer to an epic voyage. The Odyssey has a lost sequel, the Telegony, which was not attributed to Homer, but rather, in antiquity, to Xenoethon of Sparta. In one source the Telegony is said to have been stolen from Musaeus of Athens by either Eugamon or Eugamon of Cyrene, see Cyclic Poets. Contents. 1. Synopsis. 1.1 Exposition. 1.2 Escape to the Phaeacians. 1.3 Odysseus account of his adventures. 1.4 Return to Ithaca. 1.5 Slaying of the suitors. 2 Character of Odysseus. 3 Structure. 3.1 Books. 4 Geography of the Odyssey. 5 Influences on the Odyssey. 6 Themes and Patterns. 6.1 Type Scenes. 6.2 Homecoming. 6.3 Wandering. 6.4 Guest Friendship. 6.5 Testing. 6.6 Omens. 7 Textual History. 8 in Pop Culture. 8.1 Literature. 8.2 Film and Television Adaptations. 8.3 Opera and Music. 9 English Translations. 10 See also. 11 References. 11.1 Notes. 11.2 Citations. 11.3 Bibliography. 12 Further reading. 13 External links. 13.1 Translations. Synopsis. Exposition. A mosaic depicting Odysseus, from the villa of La Almeda, Pedrosa de la Vega, Spain, late 4th to 5th centuries AD. The Odyssey begins after the end of the 10-year Trojan War, the subject of the Iliad, from which Odysseus, king of Ithaca, has still not returned due to angering the Poseidon, god of the sea. Odysseus' son, Telemachus, is about 20 years old and is sharing his absent father's house on the island of Ithaca with his mother Penelope and the suitors, a crowd of 108 boisterous young men who each aim to persuade Penelope for her hand in marriage. All the while reveling in the king's palace and eating up his wealth. Odysseus' protectress, the goddess Athena, asks Zeus, king of the gods, to finally allow Odysseus to return home when Poseidon, who will be gone to accept a sacrifice in Ethiopia, is absent from Mount Olympus. Then, disguised as a Taphian chieftain named Mance, Athena visits Telemachus to urge him to search for news of his father. He offers her hospitality. They observe the suitors dining rowdily while Phemius, the bard, performs a narrative poem for them. Penelope objects to Phemius' theme, the return from Troy, 2, because it reminds her of her missing husband, but Telemachus rebuts her objections, asserting his role as head of the household. That night, Athena, disguised as Telemachus, finds a ship and crew for the true prince. The next morning, Telemachus calls an assembly of citizens of Ithaca to discuss what should be done with the insolent suitors, who then scoff at Telemachus, especially their leaders, Antinous, Eurymachus, and Leocritus. Accompanied by Athena, now disguised as Mentor, the son of Odysseus departs for the Greek mainland, to the household of Nestor, most venerable of the Greek warriors at Troy, who resided in Pylos after the war. From there, Telemachus rides overland to Sparta, accompanied by Nestor's son, Pisistratus. There he finds Menelaus and Helen, who are now reconciled. While Helen laments the fit of lust brought on by Aphrodite that sent her to Troy with Paris, Menelaus recounts how she betrayed the Greeks by attempting to imitate the voices of the soldiers' wives while they were inside the Trojan horse. Telemachus also hears from Helen, who is the first to recognize him, that she pities him because Odysseus was not there for him in his childhood because he went to Troy to fight for her, and also about his exploit of stealing the Palladium, or the luck of Troy, where she was the only one to recognize him. Menelaus, meanwhile, also praises Odysseus as an irreproachable comrade and friend, lamenting the fact that they were not only unable to return together from Troy but that Odysseus is yet to return. Both Helen and Menelaus also say that they returned to Sparta after a long voyage by way of Egypt. There, on the island of Pharos, Menelaus encounters the old sea god Proteus, who told him that Odysseus was a captive of the nymph Calypso. Incidentally, Telemachus learns the fate of Menelaus' brother, Agamemnon, king of Mycenae and leader of the Greeks at Troy. He was murdered on his return home by his wife Clytemnestra and her lover Aegisthus. The story briefly shifts to the suitors, who have only just now realized that Telemachus is gone. Angry, they formulate a plan to ambush his ship and kill him as he sails back home. Penelope overhears their plot and worries for her son's safety. Escape to the Phaeacians. Charles Glare, Odysseus, and Nausicaa. The second part of the epic recounts the story of Odysseus. In the course of his 7 years in captivity of Calypso on the island of Ogygia, she has fallen deeply in love with him, even though he has consistently spurned her offer of immortality as her husband and still mourns for home. She is ordered to release him by the messenger god Hermes, who has been sent by Zeus in response to Athena's plea. Odysseus builds a raft and is given clothing, food, and drink by Calypso. When Poseidon learns that Odysseus has escaped, he wrecks the raft but, helped by a veil given by the sea nymph Ino, Odysseus swims ashore on Sciri, the island of the Phaeacians. Naked and exhausted, he hides in a pile of leaves and falls asleep. The next morning, awakened by the laughter of girls, he sees the young Nausicaa, who has gone to the seashore with her maids to wash clothes after Athena told her in a dream to do so. He appeals to her for help. She encourages him to seek the hospitality of her parents, Arete and Alcinous, or Alcinous. Odysseus is welcomed and is not at first asked for his name, but Alcinous promises to provide him a ship to return him to his home country. He remains for several days, and is goaded into taking part in a discus throw by the taunts of Euryalus, impressing the Phaeacians with his incredible athletic ability. Afterwards, he hears the blind singer Demodocus perform 2 narrative poems. The first is an otherwise obscure incident of the Trojan War, the quarrel of Odysseus and Achilles. The second is the amusing tale of a love affair between 2 Olympian gods, Ares and Aphrodite. Finally, Odysseus asks Demodocus to return to the Trojan War theme and tell of the Trojan horse, a stratagem in which Odysseus had played a leading role. Unable to hide his emotion as he relives this episode, Odysseus at last reveals his identity. He then begins to tell the story of his return from Troy. Odysseus' account of his adventures. Odysseus overcome by Demodocus song, by Francesco Hayes, 1813-15. Odysseus goes back in time and recounts his story to the Phaeacians. After a failed piratical raid on Ismaros in the land of the Cyclones, Odysseus and his 12 ships were driven off course by storms. Odysseus visited the lethargic lotus eaters who gave his men their fruit that caused them to forget their homecoming, so Odysseus had to drag them back to the ship by force. Afterwards, Odysseus and his men landed on a lush, uninhabited island near the land of the Cyclopes. The men then landed on shore and entered the cave of Polyphemus, where they found all the cheeses and meat they desired. Upon returning home, Polyphemus sealed the entrance with a massive boulder and proceeded to eat Odysseus' men. Odysseus devised an escape plan in which he, identifying himself as nobody, plied Polyphemus with wine and blinded him with a wooden stake. When Polyphemus cried out, his neighbors left after Polyphemus claimed that nobody had attacked him. Odysseus and his men finally escaped the cave by hiding on the underbellies of the sheep as they were let out of the cave. I'm getting a bit bored trying to grind out these ranks on the lower floors. I'm just going to hope that there's better encounters between here and the boss.
is valid memory. Experience self-consciousness. I'm just role-playing.
Everyone's at rank 7, just one more rank and we can finish this game.
Live is valid manly. Live is valid manly. Feeling self-consciousness. I'm just one player. Keep learning to cope back. Hatred just stop. I see free way from that. The world is on. Set you on my body's bent to ring me burn. Live is valid manly. Fear and self-consciousness. I'm just one player. Keep learning other cope back. Hatred books just don't stop. I see free way from that. The world is on. I set you on my body's bent to ring me burn. Don't get that you cool. Close your mind. Ray of light. Ready for trip to nowhere. All my body's bent to ring me burn. Just
I love the gold chain that incomprehensible monster was wearing, it really completes the look somehow. I feel like we have to be close to maxing out at least one person. Big doggo. That looks like the boss room. Let's grind in this spot till at least the MC is max rank. Anyone seen any good shows during quarantine? Final boss time, gang, let's do it. Oh wow, I guess that's it. I could have sworn there was a second phase to that fight. So I guess just to quickly rattle off my thoughts on the game, it has so many interesting ideas and I think it stands out among the other RPGs of its time. But I think it fails when it comes to following through on the execution of some of its interesting ideas. I know remakes of Persona games are a cesspool online right now, but genuinely I'd love to see what Atlas could do with a modern version of this game with improved mechanics and updated visuals. I'm thinking about writing out a script for a more formal examination of this game once I've had more time to let my thoughts on it settle, and I'd probably want to do at least one playthrough of the PS1 version to compare. With those thoughts on the game out of the way, let's talk about what's next for the stream. Next week on Wednesday we will begin playing through Persona 2 Innocent Sin, in particular the PSP version. Also on Monday I've decided to change things up. I am getting a little bored with streaming Animal Crossing cause I'm sort of out of things to do to fill an hour or more of gameplay. So starting on Monday of next week I am going to jump into a 100% completion run of Mario Odyssey. This won't be a speedrun in the traditional sense since I don't really know all the speed running tricks to get even a halfway decent time, but I think it'll be fun just to see all the game has to offer. With all that said, I'm signing up for the night. Please follow me on Twitter for all the latest updates on my streams.